Imagine having $5 million in your bank account, cash, ready to spend. You walk into a Lamborghini dealership, checkbook in hand, ready to buy the most extreme hypercar the Italian brand has ever built. And they tell you no. Not "it's sold out," not "there's a waiting list," just no. This is the story of the Lamborghini Veneno. A car so aggressively exclusive, so deliberately restricted, that Lamborghini didn't care if you had the money, they cared if you deserved it. Only 3 people on Earth were allowed to buy the coupe. 3, not 30, not 300. 3 human beings, hand-selected by Lamborghini, granted access to a machine that would rewrite the rules of automotive exclusivity forever. This isn't a story about horsepower, it's a story about power. The kind of power that lets you decide who gets to sit at the table, even when everyone else can afford the meal. Welcome to the Masterclass on the Lamborghini Veneno, the $5 million car you weren't allowed to buy. March 2013, Geneva Motor Show. Lamborghini stands at a crossroads. The Italian automaker is celebrating 50 years of existence, half a century since Ferruccio Lamborghini launched his vendetta against Enzo Ferrari, transforming a tractor manufacturer's bruised ego into one of the most legendary brands in automotive history.
I think the story goes that Ferrari wrote a letter to Lamborghini saying, "You stick to making tractors and I'll stick to making cars." Whereupon Mr. Lamborghini said, "Well, I'm going to start making supercars."
But here's the problem. Anniversaries are cheap. Every automaker has them. Ferrari, McLaren, Pagani, they all know how to throw a party. Lamborghini needed something bigger, something that would burn itself into the collective consciousness of the hypercar world and never fade. They needed a rolling manifesto. Enter the Veneno. The name itself is a weapon, Spanish for venom, named after one of the strongest, fastest fighting bulls in history. A bull that killed a matador in the ring in 1914.
Veneno was strong, aggressive, it was fast. In 1914, in an arena in Andalusia.
That's not marketing, that's mythology. Lamborghini's brief to their design team was brutally simple. Create the most extreme expression of Lamborghini DNA ever conceived. Take the Aventador platform, already a savage, wedge-shaped missile, and push it past the breaking point of sanity. No compromises, no apologies, no elegance for elegance's sake. This wasn't about building a car. It was about building a statement, a middle finger to anyone who thought Lamborghini had gone soft. A declaration that while Ferrari chased sophistication and McLaren obsessed over lap times, Lamborghini would remain the barbarian at the gate. The Veneno would be a celebration, but more importantly, it would be a warning. Let's talk about the price, $4.5 million. At launch, it was the most expensive production car ever sold. But here's what most people miss. That price wasn't designed to make money, it was designed to make a point. Think about it. The Veneno shares its chassis, engine, and fundamental structure with the Aventador. The Aventador at the time cost around $400,000. Same V12, same carbon fiber monocoque, same all-wheel drive system. So what's the other $4 million paying for? Scarcity. Lamborghini understood something fundamental about ultra-high net worth individuals. Past a certain level of wealth, money stops being the barrier. Access becomes the currency. Exclusivity becomes the product. The Veneno wasn't sold as a car, it was sold as membership to the rarest club on Earth. This is hyper-scarcity as a business weapon. Lamborghini deliberately manufactured insufficiency. Only 3 coupes, only 9 roadsters. Knowing that artificial restriction would amplify brand power exponentially. Every Ferrari LaFerrari on the road diminishes the LaFerrari's mystique slightly. Every McLaren P1 weakens the P1's legend by fractions. But the Veneno? With only 12 examples total, including the factory prototype, the Veneno became effectively invisible, a ghost, a rumor. The $5 million price tag wasn't about covering costs. It was about creating a halo so bright, so untouchable, that every Aventador, every Huracan, every Urus sold beneath it would bask in its reflected glory. The Veneno was never meant to be profitable. It was meant to be a marketing machine disguised as a hypercar, a rolling billboard that screamed one message to the world. Lamborghini doesn't play by your rules, and it worked. Here's where it gets interesting. When Lamborghini announced the Veneno, they didn't open a waiting list. They didn't invite deposits. They didn't even pretend there would be a fair selection process. Because the buyers had already been chosen. Before the Geneva reveal, before the press photos, before the world knew the Veneno existed, Lamborghini executives had already identified 3 individuals. 3 collectors with the right pedigree, the right history, the right relationship with the brand. This is luxury gatekeeping at its most ruthless. To even be considered, you needed to prove loyalty, not just ownership. Loyalty. You couldn't be the guy who bought a Lamborghini, drove it twice, and flipped it for profit. You couldn't be the Instagram influencer with a rotating stable of exotics. You had to be the collector who'd bought multiple Lamborghinis over decades. The one who showed up to Lamborghini events, the one who understood that owning the brand's halo car came with responsibility, to preserve its image, to protect its mystique, to never ever let it be seen as just another car. Lamborghini handpicked owners they trusted to treat the Veneno as sacred. Collectors who would keep it in climate-controlled garages, display it at private events, maybe roll it out for a concours, but never crash it. Never modify it, never diminish it. This is the psychology of earned access. At this level, money is table stakes, character is the credential. When the Roadster variant launched later in 2013, 9 more buyers were selected using the same criteria. 9 people out of hundreds of applicants, out of thousands of Lamborghini owners worldwide. The message was clear. Lamborghini decides who deserves the Veneno, not your bank account, not your social media following, not your last name. And for everyone else, the answer was no. It will always be no. Now let's talk about what makes the Veneno an actual machine, not just a financial instrument. Strip away the mystique, the price tag, the exclusivity, and what you're left with is one of the most aggressively aerodynamic road cars ever conceived. The Veneno is based on the Aventador LP704, but calling it an Aventador is like calling a fighter jet a Cessna with upgrades. Nearly every body panel was redesigned in carbon fiber. The goal wasn't beauty, it was function. The front fascia is a series of sharp, angular intakes designed to maximize airflow to the radiators while generating downforce. The side profile features enormous scoops that channel air to the mid-mounted V12 and rear brakes. And the rear? The rear is where Lamborghini went full race car. A massive carbon fiber diffuser, dual exhausts positioned high and central. And that wing, a towering, adjustable rear wing mounted on 2 carbon struts, optimized for maximum downforce without destroying top speed. Every surface angle, every vent, every line was dictated by aerodynamics. The Veneno generates 50% more downforce than the Aventador. That's not incremental improvement. That's a fundamental rethinking of how air moves over a car. Under the skin, the Veneno retains the Aventador's carbon fiber monocoque chassis, one of the lightest, stiffest structures in production car history. But Lamborghini shaved off additional weight wherever possible. The result? 3,285 pounds. For a car with all-wheel drive and a V12 engine, that's almost absurdly light. And that engine, the 6.5-liter naturally aspirated V12, tuned to produce 750 horsepower at 8,400 RPM. No turbos, no hybrid systems, just 12 cylinders, 48 valves, and a shriek that climbs to the edge of sanity. 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.8 seconds. Top speed, 221 miles per hour. But here's the thing, those numbers don't matter, not really. Because the Veneno was never built to win races. It was built to win arguments, to make you stop mid-sentence when you see one, to force every other hypercar to justify its existence in its presence. The Veneno isn't a car, it's a piece of automotive brutalism. All sharp edges, exposed function, and zero apology. It's what happens when you ask designers to forget elegance and remember rage. And it's magnificent. The Veneno changed everything. Before it, the hypercar game had rules. Make something fast, make it rare, price it accordingly. But Lamborghini threw the rulebook out and introduced a new variable, make it impossible. After the Veneno, the entire industry shifted. Ferrari launched the Sergio by Pininfarina, 6 units. Bugatti teased the Divo, 40 units. Pagani built the Zonda HP Barchetta with a $30 million rumored price and only 3 examples. McLaren released the Speedtail, just 106 units, all pre-sold to selected clients. This is the exclusive hypercar arms race, and the Veneno fired the starting gun. What Lamborghini proved is that in the world of ultra-luxury, scarcity isn't a feature, it's the product. You're not buying engineering, you're buying the ability to say, I own something you'll never even see. And the market responded. Veneno values skyrocketed. At auctions, Venenos have sold for over $8 million, nearly double the original price. One Roadster reportedly changed hands privately for $11 million. That's not appreciation, that's validation. The market affirming that Lamborghini's strategy wasn't arrogance, it was genius. But the Veneno's legacy isn't just financial, it's cultural. It became one of the most controversial cars in Lamborghini's history. Critics called it overwrought, overstyled, overpriced. They said it was a vanity project, a desperate cash grab disguised as a celebration. They missed the point entirely. The Veneno was never meant to please critics, it was meant to dominate the conversation. To be so extreme, so unapologetically excessive that it forced the entire automotive world to react. Love it or hate it, you couldn't ignore it. And in the hypercar world, attention is the ultimate currency. The Veneno didn't just celebrate Lamborghini's first 50 years, it set the template for the next 50. It proved that Lamborghini could make the rules, break them, and profit from the chaos. And everyone else could only watch. So what is the Lamborghini Veneno really? It's not the fastest car ever made. It's not the most beautiful. It's not even the most expensive anymore. But it might be the most important hypercar of the 21st century. Because the Veneno taught the world a lesson that transcends automotive engineering. Exclusivity is a bigger flex than performance. Anyone with enough money can buy speed, but only a chosen few can buy access. And in the world of the ultra-wealthy, where net worth is measured in commas and private jets are boring, access is the last frontier. The Veneno is the car you weren't allowed to buy, and that's exactly why it matters. Lamborghini didn't just build a machine, they built a barrier, a velvet rope, a test. And they proved that the most powerful word in luxury isn't yes, it's no. Think about the psychology of it. Somewhere right now, there's a billionaire who owns 50 cars, who stood on the podium at Pebble Beach, who has Lamborghini on speed dial, and who was told no when he asked about the Veneno. That rejection makes the Veneno more valuable than any lap time ever could. This is the end game of automotive exclusivity. It's not about what you can buy, it's about what you can't. It's not about what you own, it's about what owns you. The Lamborghini Veneno wasn't sold, it was granted, and in doing so, it redefined what it means to be rare. Because true rarity isn't about low production numbers, it's about who decides. And in this case, Lamborghini decided. Not you, never you. And that's the most expensive flex of all.